The Coca Cola 600 on Fox is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. By Subway Restaurants, try the newest $5 footlong Orchard Chicken Salad. By Warner Brothers Pictures on June 18th, Revenge Gets Ugly, Jonah Hex, only in theaters. And by Chevy, every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
2 laps of side-by-side racing, and Jamie McMurray went fishing for the lead and took it. Here's a look at the pass.
Oh, yeah. They've been working on each other here for quite a while. They run side by side. You'd think after 500 and some miles, these guys would be tired of racing. The racing just started, and they're having a ball right now.
But here's the problem. I believe Chip Ganassi, the owner of Jamie McMurray, likes that pass. But here's the problem that Kurt Busch in that 2-car has right now. Again, the handling characteristics of this racetrack has really changed. It's cooled down a lot. He's tight turning in the corner. In other words, he turns the front wheels turning in, and they just slide. He slows the speed of the car down, and when the front wheels bite, then he's loose under acceleration. That's the reason McMurray's able to get by him and actually pull away. Yeah,
but I got to tell you, if he can keep McMurray in sight, and it looks like if they happen to make pit stops together, green flag stops, that 2-car is a little better over a short period of time. So that could play to his advantage, but he can't let that 1-car get too far away from him. And it looks like McMurray's going to drive off and leave him in the dust.
Jamie Mack has taken off. It has been a great month of May for the Busch brothers as McMurray works his way underneath the 46 of J.J. Yaley after passing Greg Biffle. Look at the winners the last 3 weekends. They're all named Busch. And look at the leaders at each 100-mile post of this race. They're all named Busch. But one stat that Kurt Busch doesn't want to hear is that in the last 15 years of this race, only 3 of the drivers who led at 500 miles took the checker at 600 miles. Dale Jarrett, 1996, Jimmy Johnson in 04, and Casey Kane in 06.
But an observation I've made with Jamie McMurray in that 1-car, Larry, and we've mentioned this a number of times, when he picked up the ride in the 88 Nationwide car for Junior Motorsports, I saw an improvement in his overall driving. I think the laps, he just ran 300 miles here yesterday. I think those laps and that seat time in that car is really helping him in this car.
Because that's with the same tire combination they're running tonight.
Pit stops are coming. We'll be back for them.
Getting ready for green flag pit stops. 50 to go on the Coca Cola 600, and there is your leader, Jamie McMurray, who won the Daytona 500 for Chip Ganassi Racing. And Chip Ganassi, the Daytona 500 winner and the Indy 500 winner earlier today. Matt Kenseth making an early pit stop. We're coming up here on green flag pit stops.
It's a scheduled stop, but Steve, what are they going to do to the 17?
Well, Jeff, his biggest problem is he's starting to run hot. He also wants the brake duct opening cleaned off. They also got a tear off. Jeff, he also said that he's loose on the gas, so they took some air out of the right rear tire, 4 tires.
And Kurt Busch, who again for the 4th time in his career has led more than 200 laps. He's won 2 previous races right behind Jamie McMurray. And let's look at this final pit stop. At least without a caution here, could decide the race.
Well, this could decide the race, and we're coming up on probably what's going to wind up being about the 10th pit stop for these crews. And I think when you stop is going to be very important how you come in. We've already seen the 17 on pit road. Now we see the 29, our point leader, Kevin Harvick, coming down pit road. And so we got to figure out what he's going to do on this pit stop.
And Matt Yoakum has the latest on that. Matt?
And Harvick once again climbed to just outside the top 10 and then hit pit road. Chassis adjustment complete for Harvick, Dick.
Jamie McMurray coming in. And Dick Berggren has the latest.
Your leader pitting right now with a 4-tire change. This car has been virtually perfect toward the end of the night. Krista.
Kurt Busch has been tight in, loose off, the same condition he's had all race. He said, I need the right front to dig. Steve Addington is going to give him that with wedge. Matt.
Stopping a little deep in his box is Kyle Busch in the 18 chassis adjustment. He says the car is just tight, and he gives up too much time at the front end of the run, and he is away.
And David Rudiman is in the pits right now. Whoa, he really had to make a sharp turn to get the car in the pit area. He is legally parked. Steve.
Dick Clint Boyer says he's a little bit too free. Track bar adjustment for Boyer. And last pit stop potentially for Bowyer.
Jeff Gordon, Joey Logano in. Martin Truex making his stop. Ryan Newman. Bowyer is away. Biffle is in. Mark Martin completes his stop. And here's Tony Stewart coming down the pit road. Stewart was the leader. He gives up the lead to David Reagan to make what could be his last stop of the night. Steve.
Mike Joy, it's taken all night, but Tony Stewart says the back of the race car is finally in the track. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment and 4 tires for Tony Stewart.
The only cars that have not stopped are David Reagan, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Denny Hamlin, of those cars that are on the lead lap.
David Rudiman had a terrible time getting in his pit box. The 99 car, Carl Edwards, was coming out as Rudiman was coming in. They almost collided. That cost David a lot of time.
Reagan will surrender the lead, and that means that Dale Earnhardt Jr. will lead this race for the first time tonight.
Now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. can go about another 6 laps because he pitted on that last caution. But how about David Reagan, Dick?
Larry, he's had a really good night. David Reagan has kept the car off the wall. He's run a smart race tonight, and he's got a shot for a real good finish out of this thing.
So Earnhardt and Denny Hamlin, who last stopped at lap 310, 46 laps ago, lead this race.
Now, Denny Hamlin's going to come to pit road. The problem staying out there is you're banking on a caution, but you're giving up about a second a lap to those fresh tires.
Earnhardt continues to circulate as Hamlin, who had his problems when Jimmy Johnson spun and Denny had to go to the grass to miss him. They've recovered from that. You see the tape on the nose, and he heads for his pit box and mapped.
And Mike, pretty much from that juncture, he has been tight for the rest of the race. They've tried to free him up every stop. Another significant wedge adjustment on this stop for the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
And then there was one. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the only driver who has not made this green flag pit stop. You see Casey Kane trying to get by.
It's lap 358. He can go to about 362 to 364 on fuel. But you see fresh tires on the bottom on Casey Kane, the 9 car, how he'll just drive by.
Jamie McMurray pulling down on Casey Mears and trying to rebound. Now McMurray's the second place car, but he is 14 seconds behind Dale Jr.
Yeah, but he's driving away from his closest adversary, I think, which is Kurt Busch in the 2. McMurray is driving off and leaving him.
All right, there's 1 second between second and third, about 15 seconds between Earnhardt Jr. and McMurray. Let's show you the distance. Jr. comes off turn number 4, and it's about half a lap back to Jamie Mack.
But he just ran a 31.66. The lap before that, Kurt Busch back there in third ran a 30.71.
Here's McMurray, the orange car. And about a second behind him comes Kurt Busch. And you're right, at this moment, McMurray is quicker with 40 laps to go.
But Dale Jr.'s got nothing to lose. I mean, he might as well sit there and play this hand all the way out to the very end.
He almost did right there.
Well, he can lose his race car now.
As long as he doesn't become the caution.
That's right. That was pretty ugly.
Scott Speed just made a pit stop, too fast entering. Bill Elliott makes what could be his last stop of the night. Dale Jr. is running 31.60s, McMurray 31 flat.
Yeah, he's given up a lot of time, and like I said, though, he doesn't have anything to lose. He might as well stay here until he has to absolutely out of fuel. Who knows? Might get that caution.
Well, we know this is when these drivers really start to ramp it up. You start getting up on the edge because you know the end is getting nearer and nearer.
Yeah, I'd say, Larry, in most cases, your car's as good as it. I mean, you've worked on it all night. You got it as good as you're going to get it. And now it's all in the driver's hands. Get me all you can.
Casey Mears took out the pit road. He's not been there since lap 300. On the last pit stop, watch Tony Stewart coming out. Watch the crewman right there get bumped by the rear spoiler of Stewart's car. Sends one of Greg Biffle's crew to the ground.
Wow.
And here's Steve.